Okay, grade 11 students. So in this video, we are going to discuss one of the question from paper 1. So this question paper, it was written in the province of Limpopo. So it was June examination 2023. So we are going to discuss income statement from top until the end. So make sure that you watch until the end so that you will gain more knowledge about the transaction that you are going to face when you write your income statement under a partnership. Okay, let's check the question paper that we have. The required part, they said that prepare the statement of comprehensive income, which is also known as income statement for the year ending 30 June 2022. So it's very important to know your reporting period so that you will be able to calculate a month, because the major principle under income statement is that you need to record a transaction for 12 months. Every transaction must contain 12 months. If they give you the transaction for next year, you have to remove it. If they give you a 10 months transaction, you have to add it to make it 12. That's the major principle that you need to know under income statement. You're gonna see it when we do a transaction. Okay, let's start with the part of sales. They give us a list of balance, and we also have to read additional information. Okay, before we go to additional information, we have to open a bracket and write our sales amount of 1,032,000, and we check if we have any return. Any return is called debtors allowance. We have to subtract it under sales because those customers have returned goods. We can't say that we have a sales. We have to do what? To remove it, because it's no longer sales. They return the goods. Okay, we have it, debtors allowance of 32,000. Okay, then after that we have to check additional information. Obviously, I'm just gonna point additional information related to sales so that we can proceed quick. Additional information number 2.3. A credit note of 225 issued on 30 August 2021 to Moti has not been recorded. The stock was returned by Moti because of the wrong color t-shirt was sent to him. So this customer said we sent the wrong color of t-shirt, which means that that's the reason why the customer returned the goods, which means that it's no longer sales. That 225 is no longer sales. We have to subtract it. Okay, which means that now we can close the balance. But you have to make sure that if you are writing examination, read all transaction and check if there is any other transaction related to sales. Okay, then if you calculate, you're gonna get 999,775. Okay, and we open brackets for cost of sales. This transaction is going to affect the cost of sales as well. Okay, the first cost of sales that we have is from our balance, which is 427,000. Okay, now the question is, how much are we going to subtract? This one? No, this one is on selling price and we need to convert it to cost price. Okay, it's on selling price 225. Okay, if you read, they said that the markup on cost under 2.3, the markup on cost, it was 50%, which means that we have to say 225 multiplied by, we're looking for 100 out of 150, then it's gonna give you 150. Okay, then you calculate your balance. It's gonna give you 426,850. I'm sure that you are aware that cost of sales, obviously we have to write it with brackets. You take this one minus this one and you get your gross profit, which is amount of 572,925. Okay, you also have to be careful, guys, when you are listening, because the major purpose is to listen very carefully so that you will understand the principle. Because as you can see, we have a lot of expenses, which means that some of the amount that I'm going to write, they are not going to be exactly in the same line. But if you just listen what I'm saying or the principle, you will get it right. Don't just copy. Okay, let's proceed. Now, the next step, we have to go and check our other income. Okay, we got our gross profit is fine. Then now we have to check other operating income. We have rent income. Okay, rent income, the first one we must start with the one that has been given under a balance, which is 47,250, and we check transaction. Okay, transaction number 2.5. A rent income includes the rent received until July. Remember, our year is ending June. We receive a rent for next month, for next year. Okay, in other words, we receive rent in advance in 1 month. Okay, but let's proceed. They say that the monthly rent was increased by 10% with effect from 28 February. They say that during the year, rent is increased by the percentage. Now you are going to use the formula that you need to understand it very carefully. What you are going to do with this formula, you have to do it according to the way that I'm going to do it. Otherwise, you are going to do it wrong. The first step, you have to split a month, which is called before and after. Then after that, you are going to open a bracket and say this side is always 100 and this side is also always 100, but you have to add with what? The percentage of increase, which means that it's going to be 110. We'll close the brackets. Months before and months after increase. Months before increase, how many? Okay, remember it has increased on February, 28 February, which means that the effect starts from March, because it was month end 28 February. It's going to be March, April, May, June. We count until July because it has been paid until July, not June, which means that it's 5. It's 5. Remember, in total, it must be 13. Why 13? Because there is 1 month in advance, which means that they didn't pay for 12 months, according to what we said when we start here, that the principal said you have to record 12. They recorded 13. 13 minus 5 is going to give you 8, which means that before is 8. If you count from beginning of the year, which is 1 July last year, until 28 February, it's going to give you 8, which means that this formula, please write it as it is. Don't say 13 open brackets and you write this. You are going to get it wrong. Do it like this. I know that 8 plus 5 is 13, but do it like this. Okay, if you do this, you are going to get 13,5. So this is 13,5 is the one that you are going to take this amount. Okay, I think now you understand this part. I can wrap because we don't have a space. You can say 47,250 divided by 13,5. It's going to give you, let me calculate, a rent before increase. 47,250 divided by 13,5. Okay, 47,250,000 is going to give you 13,500. And now you have to apply what? An increase. How do you apply increase? Now it's very simple. 3,500 multiplied by 110 over 100. Or you can just say 10% first and you get the answer. Okay, then you add it back again. Okay, now if you do this calculation, guys, you're going to get that month of July after. Remember, July is a month after increase, which means that it's going to give you 3,850. This is after you have you calculated 3,500 multiplied by 110 over 100. You're gonna get this. Okay, then it's give you 4,400. I hope you understand this long transaction. So this transaction contained, there was a 2 marks allocation here, 1 here, 1 here. It's almost 4 marks. It's a lot. Okay, let's proceed. Then the next one under other income, so that we can finish this part, we have bad debts recovered. Bad debts recovered is income. If you check under our table, we have bad debts recovered of 1,000. of 1000. And if you check additional information number 2.7, Bobby Lewis, a debtor whose account is previously written off, deposited. Okay, this one is bad debts recovered. Yes, the debtor that was previously written off, that person come back and do what? In the deposit amount of 210, which means that we recover 210. Okay, then we're gonna now write a total of 1210. Okay, and the next one we also have what we call provision for bad debt adjustment. It was transaction number 2.9. The provision for bad debts must be decreased. If it decreased, simple means that when we said provision for bad debts, there are those that we are doubting. We are doubting that they are going to do what? To pay us. So in other words, if they decrease, those people that we are doubting, which means that more people are going to pay. But if it increase, it's going to be expensive because more people, we are doubting them that they are going to pay us. That's why it's going to be regarded as a what? As an income, because it has decreased. Those number has decreased, which means that many are going to pay us. Okay, then now we can calculate the total. It's gonna give you amount of 49,010. Okay, now we can calculate our gross operating income. How do we calculate it? Okay, it's just gonna be this one. We take gross profit plus other income, which is going to give us 621,935. Okay, then now we are going to the next step. Okay, let me shift a camera. Okay, because we have a part of profit for the year, it must be shown this side. Okay, now let's start. The first three expenses, like salaries, discount received, and sundry expenses, there was no transaction, and they decided that they are not going to give a marks for this because it was there on your answer book. Okay, then we have the next one. The next one we have water and electricity. Okay, I'm doing so, guys, because I don't want to jump anything, so let me try to do them in order. Water and electricity. The first step, we have to open a bracket and take the one that we have under a transaction, under the balances. Okay, the one that we have is 25,000. Okay, then under transaction, we have to check transaction number 2.11. Water and electricity account for June. June is our year. It has been received. We received water and electricity, but we didn't pay. We have to edit. Why edit? In other words, it's how much? It's 5,000. In other words, they are saying that this has been paid until May. June they didn't pay, and remember, we can't record 11 months, we must record 12. That's why we edit. Okay, and now we get the balance of 30,000. Very simple. Okay, the next one is insurance. We open a bracket and we take the one on the balance. Insurance is 6,400 under trial balance. Then after that we look for transaction. Transaction number 2.4. Included in the insurance amount is annual premium of 2,400 paid for the period of 1 January 2022 until December. It was paid from January until December, and our period is ending June, which means that only amount that is applicable here is a half, because it's from January until June. From July until December is another reporting period, which means that 2,400, half of it we have to subtract it, which is how much? Half of 2,400 is 1,200. Okay, then you will get amount of 5,000 4,200. Okay, you also have to recalculate so that you will get the correct figure, because I'm just copying my workings here because I can't keep recalculating everything on the video. It's gonna play for 3 hours, which is not good. Okay, now let's proceed. The next one, we have a packing material. But before we go to packing material, guys, please, those who want to join our extra class is still available. And because I know that in South Africa, a lot of people, they don't have money, I decided that we have to do a tutorial that everyone will be able to afford. So myself and the team of Accounting Solution SA, we decided that we're gonna only charge a student 60 rand per month. So make sure that you join our classes before it's too late, because if you text us a day before the exam or day before the test, how are we going to assist you in that case? Even if you make a payment, how are we going to assist you? So make sure that you join in time so that you will be able to learn with others as well. Okay, now let's proceed. We are going to packing material. Packing material, let's start with the one that we have on the table. We have 4,200. 4,200. And the next one, we need to check transaction 2.1. They say packing material of 500 purchased on 21 August was incorrectly posted to the stationery account. In other words, they took 500 of packing material and they recorded it under what? Stationery, which means that we have to come and edit under stationery 500. Under packing material we are adding, then under stationery we will go and subtract 500, because it does not belong to stationery, it belongs to packing material. Packing material purchased was incorrectly posted under stationery. That's why we subtract here and edit here. Very simple. And now before we proceed, packing material we have 2.2. We have packing material on hand of 900 under 2.2, which we have to subtract. Every on hand which is at the end, we subtract. At the beginning, we add. Okay, 900. Okay, then it's gonna give us 3,800. Then the next one, stationery, we have 4,100 this side from our table. Okay, if you check on our balances, it's 4,100. Then we minus 500. Then we're gonna get amount of 3,600, just like that. Okay, and now the next one we have embedded. The first one, you take the one on the table, which is amount of 1,500, and we check if we have any embedded adjustment. Okay, transaction number 2.8. According to Ronaldo, a data of 450 must be written off as it came to light that he has left the country to play soccer in France. So this guy is no longer coming back. Ronaldo is in France, so obviously we won't be able to find him again. So this 450 must be regarded as a what? As a bad debt. Okay, it's gonna give us 1,950. Okay, let's proceed. The next one, if you check under transaction, we did all the transaction beside transaction of interest and depreciation. So bank charges, it does not have any transaction. So bank charges, we're just gonna copy it as it is. Bank charges is how much? It's 840. Okay, and the other one, we're gonna go to depreciation 2.12. Depreciation calculated for the year was 27,470. Depreciation is an expense. Okay, 27,470. Okay, and another one, we have to work out if we have any trading stock deficit. We compare the one for beginning and the one for the end. If it has decreased, there is a deficit. At the beginning we have amount of 81,000, and remember we must first add the one that customer has returned, because it's costed us, of course, 150. Then after that I think these two, if we add them together, 81,000, then we compare it with the balance at the end. Transaction number 1.2.2, trading stock of 79,000 at the end, 100. If you compare this one two and with this one, obviously you can see that it has decreased. Decrease simply means that it has lost value. That's why we call deficit. If it has increased, it was going to be surplus. Okay, but you will find a deficit case always. All right, then it's gonna give you amount of 2050. Okay, then after that we can now calculate operating profit. You take total of expenses. Total expenses how much? 281,100, and you add with what? With income. Oh, sorry, this one you subtract. Then it's gonna give you operating profit of how much? Operating profit of 340,825. Okay, let me see if you can be able to see. Yes. All right, now let's check. The next one, now we have to calculate interest income. Interest income, they say that we have amount of 500, the first one, and the transaction, they said that sum of interest of fixed deposit is outstanding. Interest is not capitalized. If you take amount of 12,000 under fixed deposit of 12,500 and you multiply by 8%, it's gonna give you 1,000, which means that this 500 is not enough. From 1,000 total, we must add 500 so that it can give you. That's why they say that sum is not capitalized. They only recorded for half of the year. The other one we have to record. Profit before tax, we just take this one plus this one. It's gonna give you 341,850. Okay, then interest expense. Let's calculate interest expense. The first one we are given 360, and the other one we have to calculate according to the table that we are given. 2.6, you take opening balance and you subtract the rest. You say 42,875 minus 10,000 minus 40,000 is gonna give you plus 7,125. Okay, then after that it's gonna give you 7,485. Okay, then after that now you have to subtract, because this one is an expense. Then you will get profit of the year of 334,340. Just like that. That's how you should do it, guys. Please also go and check the other channel of which is part of us, which called e-learning solution SA. So e-learning solution SA, we are going to record different subjects like math, mathematics, economics, and business study. Please make sure that you check it at the end of this video, and please make sure that you subscribe to it. Also subscribe to this one so that you can keep learning whatever that you learn, so that you guys, you can get distinctions when you go to grade 12. I'm gonna see you on the next one.